Alright guys, it's a new week. It's been a lot of things has been going on ever since the past week or the last time I released my latest vlog, my second vlog I think, or my third vlog. Yeah, I mean this week I'm just been so busy with just many different things. I'll probably go into it in more detail later in this video, but I've been starting a new studio, so rather than doing a personal brand, I'm also thinking of having a studio where it's not only me, but also having other people part of the team to also build out websites and build new brand experiences and web experiences. It's been a lot of going on, but right now I'm doing a lot of content, writing content and just planning out my content. And one of the things that a lot of you guys might have asked me is like how I attract my clients, and the way how I attract my clients are just all from content. One of the biggest traps I feel like the most people fall into when they're trying to do content, let's say it could be just YouTube or short form content or written content on LinkedIn or X or Threads, is that if I just post every day, clients would come in. And it doesn't really work like that, because you have to be very strategic with your content in a way where you can't just spend every day to post about your work every single day. Even though it might give you some eyeballs or visibility, it's not going to guarantee that it will help you land clients, or at least high quality clients. So that was the trap that I fell into when I first started out content. Is like I did like this 30-day UI challenge, and at the end of the 30 days I posted like every experiments that I did. None of the clients came, or I had 0 leads coming into my business after those 30 days. And to be honest, I was pretty lost of like what I should do with content. But the more I spent more time, like at least I spent a year or 2 years growing my LinkedIn to around like almost 6,500 and my YouTube to 33,000, is that consistency doesn't really matter, but it's just more of how intentional you are with the content that you push out, depending on what stage you're in. With the content, usually if you are starting out, fleshing out your work will help you get your visibility and your eyeballs in, but you also need to spend time kind of writing content that is attracting clients. So in a sense, kind of authority kind of posts where you inject your own personal perspective into that specific post. If you see a lot on LinkedIn or Instagram, is you would see these posts like how to boost your conversion rate or how to get more leads from your website. But the only thing that is missing is your own personal perspective. Because honestly, anyone can just go to ChatGPT and generate all of those kind of like educational content. It will only make it different if you inject your personal perspective into it and your personal experience, your personal story into it. So instead of like how to get more leads into your business, or like top 5 tips to get your leads into your business, you could frame it in a way how I brought X amount of leads into my website in 30 days. I think that's so much more specific. It has a more personal touch to it and it's unique. Like no one else can do that. So I think that was the biggest mistakes I've done, is like I'm just fleshing out a bunch of like generic content, but I don't inject my personal perspective or personal story into it. I think that's just a really quick thing about content. I actually want to show you guys how I usually plan my content as well, because I did mention that the content should be very strategic depending on what stage you are in your business. I'll just flip my camera over to my laptop here. Alright, so hope you guys were able to see this. So this is a part of my freelance OS dashboard system, and I have like a content creation system here. With content, it's like, yes, it's very important to stay consistent, but you have to be very strategic with what the type of content that you push out. So if you're starting out content, right, I think growth content where it's like, let's say a little bit controversial or a little bit broad would help you get eyeballs, get visibility to your page and grow your following. I think that's great. But let's say if you're at a stage where you already have a solid amount of followers in your business, or like let's say you have 10K followers on YouTube or like 2,000 followers on LinkedIn. So that's where you need to be a little bit more strategic and more intentional with attracting high quality leads rather than attracting like low quality leads. This is my YouTube planner here. So I plan all my content. So aside from YouTube, I also do a lot of like LinkedIn posts where I post every single day. With my rule of thumb is that every post that you send out, it should serve a certain or a specific purpose. So if you look at my calendar here, I haven't fleshed out all of this because I've been getting quite lazy with updating this calendar. But essentially, I've been posting every single day, and every single day is not like pieces of my work, even though I also still included pieces of my work. For those content pieces, rather than like focusing on the technical side of your website, you should focus on more of the strategic or the value that you're delivering from that piece of work. So rather than like, oh, I use GSAP and Webflow for this piece of work. So normally what would people do is that they would launch a website and they make a post about, oh yeah, I used Webflow and GSAP for this project, and yeah, we launched a new project, check it out. But none of them really focus on the actual impact or like the problem that you've solved by launching this website. So for this post here, even though it's a recent post, I just posted this a day ago, so like no leads coming in. But the most important thing, if you're trying to attract clients to your business from the work that you're pushing out on your social media, you have to frame it in a way where it attracts clients or like speak to the clients themselves. So for this specific post here, I was just focusing on the problems I've been solving for this specific agency. So one of the biggest problems that they had is that their old website had really poor messaging and really outdated design that doesn't reflect or help attract their ideal clients. I'll just list all of these things that I solved here for their business, and this post would not be like super viral because it's very specific. It's like speaking to a very niche people that would make them feel something or make them take a specific action. That's a quick thing about like posting works, is that you should provide some context or the problem that you're solving in that piece of work. Other than that, also post other things when it comes to more of the mindset things to kind of nurture my audience. So like have my audience really understand more about like who I am and what I really believe in. And I think when clients are looking for people to work with, they want to work with people that think the same way or have the same interest. And whenever I have a certain point where I need more clients, then that's when I'll post more authority content to like show the results I've done and have more call to actions for people to book a call. This is kind of the system that I've been doing for the past 2 months. Once again, I've been getting lazy to like update these, but I've been posting on LinkedIn for 2 months straight, and I've been getting consistent amount of leads coming in and a lot of high quality qualified clients, which I can't really name, but these projects are like around 20 to 30K projects, and that's like been the biggest leads so far, like throughout the entire year. And just a post-recording note, I also have a full-on video walking you guys through how you can start creating content to attract clients, or just in general like a foundation that you can start content in your own freelance business to whether it might be grow your following or build your personal brand, or just have a new kind of lead source to attract clients rather than relying on code DMs. So I'll link that video down below in the description, or link that on the top left or the top right of the video. So yeah, feel free to check that out as well. Yo, what's up guys? Got a new lens here, so it's super wide right now. Earlier, or like yesterday, I was just talking about a lot of things has been going on. And one of them is just scaling the operations into more of a studio. So less of a freelancer, like a one-man solo. I think in a sense, it will be a one-man operation, but I'm kind of repositioning myself not as a freelancer now, but I'm thinking of transitioning into more of a studio. So I've just been working a lot on the design side of things, or like just launching like a new website, and also just really flesh out branding and the visual identity of the new studio. So if you guys are curious, the studio is called Monologue, and we're like grounded within kind of the storytelling in the storytelling side of websites. So we won't be focusing on like any complex things like web apps or anything. So we're just gonna focus and double down on what we do best, is just creating web experiences and brand experiences. So yeah, it's been a lot of going on. One of the things that I wanted to scale into a studio is because recently I've been getting so many inquiries or leads coming into my business, and a lot of qualified leads where they are really big. They have a lot of money to afford very high-end websites, and they do recognize that they have a a problem, or they already recognize the value of having a really, really well-built website that could adds value into the brand and adds value to how their customers or their clients perceive the brand. That's one of the things I've been recognizing myself, is that if I were to position myself as a freelancer, I feel like a lot of people might go through this, is like when they look at you as a freelancer, they would probably think, oh yeah, it's only the freelancer working on the project, but no one else. And then that's what I realized, when so many leads are coming in and there's so much I can do only for like a one person kind of business. And especially if I position myself as like a personal like freelancer, right? They probably expect me to be there from start to finish. So I'll have to be working inside the business for like all of my clients. And right now I'm like capped at like max 3 clients, because I'm just working on projects end to end all by myself and just have a bit of external help. But if I go beyond like 3 projects, I'll probably like suffer, and like I'm basically selling my soul. So that's one of the things I realized. I want to scale to a studio where I kind of want to retain kind of the design standard for more clients, and then I can have really, really talented designers or developers to jump in and I guess full time to give me a hand when it comes to either designing the websites or developing the websites. So that's one of the things I've been thinking a lot. That's probably is going to be the plan for the future, is scaling into like a more close-knit small team. So I guess just a plug here, if you guys are a web designer or brand designer or a creative developer that uses Webflow, just feel free to hit me up via my email, share me your work. This will be a kind of a full-time position. I'm not onboarding everyone right away, or I'm not onboarding a new person right away, as I'm thinking like next year is probably when it's going to be serious, or maybe around the end of this year. So if you guys are curious, I'll probably drop a link down below in the description, or just send me an email with your work, please. So yeah, that's kind of the situation where we're at right now. Honestly, very, very exciting. I just cannot wait to show you guys kind of what I've been working on. I'm planning to have a full-on kind of a case study video of building a studio from scratch. So very similar to the architecture video that I've done before, probably very storytelling based and very cinematic. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But otherwise, I'm gonna have a call with one of my close friends. He's been helping me out with kind of the videography direction and the photography direction for the brand. Yeah, we're gonna have a call and just go over like the shot list of how the videography work is going to look like for the brand. Like, I don't want to lose my personal brand, because that's what got me here in the first place. So I think the brand itself is still going to be quite grounded in my personal brand until we scale to a certain point where it's not as important. But I still see my personal brand being so important. So I'm probably going to have a lot of my face there or myself there. But ultimately, it's nested within like a general name, monologue. So yeah, overall, it's just really, really excited for what's next. Yeah, I honestly cannot wait to bring you guys along in this journey as well. Even have you guys a part of it if you're looking for some kind of full-time job, being part of the team, building something really ambitious for mission-driven and creative brands. So, and I guess one of the notes that I want to make, I just realized I'm so hypocritical. I think it's part of human nature is being hypocritical, and you learn things as you go, and your beliefs start to shift as you realize certain things are not the way it's meant to be, if that makes sense. I think in the last vlog, in the first part of the video, I was like thinking whether if I want to go on full on the content creation path or agency path. But now I realize, why not both? Why not do both? Because I realize a lot of people, for example, I think Adrian Kulesho, or UI Adrian, he also runs an agency and also runs a personal brand at the same time. So I thought to myself, why can't I do that as well? And that's why I realized that I was just so stupid, or not really necessarily stupid, but I feel like I didn't know better. But now I realize I can do both, basically. And I just love my craft so much. Like, I feel like if I were to go full-time on like content creation path or the creative path, I'll probably have such a strong urge to go back and like build something really, really impactful and very creative for clients. So, but at the same time, if I go full-time on the agency side, I would miss creating content for you guys so much, or just sharing things online. And I feel like I need both in my life. Like, that's like my ikigai, basically. But yeah, that's just like a one note I want to talk about and address if you guys are just curious, like, wow, this guy was just talking about embracing the present. I mean, I'm still embracing the present, but I was just talking about like it's one or the other, but you can do both. But yeah, that was just a quick ramble and quick rant. But anyways. Alright guys, it's been a while I've actually recorded the vlog. I think it's been almost a week. It's because last week I was just fully sick the whole week. And then I was also spending 2 days after that to move into my new place. So this is the new place right now. We moved everything from the old place to the new place within a whole single day. Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't have been able to do this without my mom's and my brother's help. So yeah, it's honestly an absolute miracle that we moved everything in within a single day, because usually it would take me like more than a week to move from place to place when I was in Australia. So God bless. God bless for that. Yeah, so I'm just settling in the new place now. It still feels a bit weird, but pretty much we have everything in the setup, and we have like a full-on dedicated, I guess, studio place, you would say, or like an office space. Overall, it's been really nice. I've just been spending a lot of time decorating the space with like the lights that I have, the posters, the plants and the bookshelf over there. So overall it's really nice. Yeah. I guess other than that, I've just been working on a lot recently on my new studio website, and also just a general branding for it. Last week, I was just spending a lot of time with one of my high school friends. We were spending a lot of time to work on the actual filming process. So you might have seen in the previous videos where we were just like planning and discussing the shots and just brainstorming. The week after our brainstorming session, we rented out a bunch of equipment, a bunch of lighting, and we turned like the old apartment I was living in into like a full-on like a studio shoot. So we removed all the couches and removed everything and just kind of like scrambled the entire flat into like a studio space. So the results, it turned out really well. We spent like the whole day from the morning to all the way until 8 p.m. to shoot videos, to also do some headshots as well for the new photography direction for the studio. And yeah, the results turned out really well. I'll actually show you guys some of the results that we've got from the shoot. I'll show you some of the photos that we've taken and the results. I just cannot be happier with how it turned out. I just gotta give all my credits to my friend here to kind of set up the lighting and set up the photography direction. And I was just kind of like brainstorming, because if you take a look because we had like a mood board. So I was also drafting a strategy deck. Here's some of the kind of the mood board that we've done or like just the overall strategy deck for the Monologue brand. Initially, I was just thinking like have a personal rebrand, but now that I have a studio, it's probably going to be implemented under the Monologue name. So yeah, we're just going through the exact same process how I would usually guide my clients through, with like the brand missions, the how, what, how, and why, the brand values, tone of voice, and yeah, a bunch of like visual direction with photography direction as well. So here's some of the kind of examples that we selected, and we had a bunch of other like photos that we were brainstorming separately as well, which was like, we had a lot of different kind of photos. But yeah, this is kind of the strategy deck, and some of the inspo is kind of here. And to show you guys kind of the results that we got, I would say with the initial direction and with execution from my friend, we got a one-of-a-kind result. Like, it's amazing. Wait, okay, let me just show you. So here's some of the photos that we've taken with my friend's Fujifilm X100 V1. Is that how you describe it? But here's some of the images that we've done. It's just incredible. The lighting, we also like set up the background so that it's like reflective of who I am. And overall, it's just that it turned out so well. I feel like it's really represent kind of the aesthetic that I would like to go for. The colors, the lighting is just really cinematic, and it feels I'm not sure how to describe it. It feels like one of a kind. I feel like if you were to go on into like a normal studio to rent, they would just give you a very basic, I guess, neutral, nothing too special kind of headshots. But yeah, I'm just glad that we decided to like stick within our apartment, my apartment, and rent out the equipment so that we can like transform the space, because I also had in mind to use my books, use my amplifier, use my keyboard, use my lamp as a decoration to really show who I am, rather than going to a studio with like very, I guess, unnatural props that doesn't really reflect who I am. Yeah, overall the photos turned out so well. We just had some really nice photos here, and this one goes unnecessarily hard. It feels like an album cover of an artist. Yeah, overall I'm just really happy with the result. I'm definitely going to reuse this a lot for my LinkedIn posts and on my websites as well. But yeah, I think you can kind of get the gist of it. We just have a bunch more of videos as well that we shot, and those are going to be edited by my friend, so we don't have like the actual, I guess, video for that yet. But yeah, I'm just really happy with this. Like, I don't want to sound like super egoistical, but I'm just really happy with how like the creative direction turned out. The aesthetic is just really like different. It's like one of a kind. Like, as I mentioned, even like the headshots, they feel very special. The colors, just overall vibe. It's like, yeah, it's just really nice. I'm just really happy with this. All credits to my friend for just setting this up, the lighting and everything. And in case you guys are curious, if you are located in the UK, I'll just link my friend's Instagram down below in the description. If you guys are in the UK and you want some like headshots, some photography work done, or some videography work done, yeah, I'll be linking his Instagram down below in the description. Well, I guess on the same topic as well, aside from the photography work and the strategy deck, I'm actually working on the first iteration of the Monologue Studio website. This is kind of the Figma board that I have right now. It's messy, but we just experimented a lot, and I feel like the most important focus for this design is really nailing down the storytelling part of it and making sure that we're having enough authority and results throughout the website to actually build, I guess, trust with potential clients. With the clients that I work for are creative brands, and seriously like ambitious creative brands that is very mission driven. Yeah, we're just working a lot on like how do we make sure that we nail down the flow of the website. How do we make sure the sitemap makes a lot of sense and builds momentum in sense, build excitement for them to potentially work with me. So one of that is like, yeah, showing the work, but also throughout the copywriting, the testimonials, the results here, and just overall having a very storytelling based kind of website that tells some kind of story, or that just really inspires the client to take action and book a call with me eventually. Yeah, we're still fleshing this out. It's honestly a lot of work. I feel like toughest client is like literally myself. Like, I'm so nitpicky with everything I design, the copywriting, and it feels so much harder to design for yourself rather than designing for your clients. I feel like it's because I have such a strong emotional connection to my own business. It's like I want to make it so perfect, and it's low-key kind of getting in the way to launch this website. But so yeah, I'm keeping that in mind to like really pick up the pace and actually have a new landing page to put out there in the world. But right now I just have a very temporary website just to show the list of my work. So yeah, we just have this really basic one, and got some sound to it too. But yeah, this is just a very basic temporary website until we finish the design here and develop this one on Webflow as well. So yeah, that's kind of the current stage with the new studio initiative. Just overall working on the branding, the photography direction, the copywriting, the strategy and everything. And overall, it's just very exciting. I'm also onboarding another designer and developer to jump in to help me out with projects as well. So yeah, it's honestly a lot of stuff going on. Seriously, a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I'm just really excited what's to come next. Yeah, I'm really excited to bring you guys along with how everything is going to turn out with this new studio initiative as well. I think that's going to be it for this vlog. I think this one's it's going to be a little bit shorter compared to the previous ones. I mean, I think majority of that is because I was just sick for the entirety of last week. I wasn't able to get much done. It honestly sucks sometimes when you get sick, when there's so much things going on, so many things going on, so much momentum going on. But it's also nice just to not do any work, because when you're sick, you're just forced to do something else. I was just playing a bunch of games during that time. I was playing Hades 2, binging a lot of anime as well. I've been binging JoJo. But yeah, it's just been also a nice breather to have a week off, like a forced week off, where we're going back at it. I'm gonna turn up the gears back again. And I've been feeling like I'm like pretty much fully recovered. So I'm just kind of like struggling a bit to get back into the flow and into the amount of focus that I usually put in. So yeah, we're gonna kick things back up again, and I'm just gonna really scale things up even further and just make a lot of progress on the business. Yeah, I'm just very, very excited with a lot of things going on with Monologue, and just overall a lot of progress throughout the business so far. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Thanks so much once again. You guys are amazing. If you've been watching all of my vlogs, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I guess another thing is that if you guys have any kind of questions when it comes to any part of the freelancing side of things or the technical side of things, feel free to drop a comment down below. So yeah, I'll try my best to look through the comments and answer as much as possible. But other than that, if you stuck all the way to the end, you know what to do. Maybe let's switch it up, since I'm starting a studio now. I think comment freelance is not the right word anymore. So if you stuck all the way to the end, comment what's the word? Okay, on the top of my head, comment keyboard if you made it all the way to the end of the video. But as usual, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.